Henry was a man who had everything the world could offer. Tall buildings, expensive cars, and more money than most could dream of. He was a billionaire, and his name was known in many places. But no matter how much money he had, Henry's heart belonged to his daughter, Emma. She was a bright, kind girl who used a wheelchair because of a condition she was born with. Henry loved Emma more than anything in the world. One bright morning, Henry decided to take Emma out. Not to a fancy restaurant or a luxury hotel, but to a small, simple cafe in the middle of the town. The cafe was not like the places Henry usually visited. It was a quiet place, with wooden tables and the smell of fresh coffee. Henry hoped that Emma would enjoy this small adventure. Emma looked around the cafe with wide eyes. She loved the colors on the walls and the way the sunlight came through the windows. She smiled softly as she looked at the other people. But Henry noticed something else too. He saw how some people in the cafe looked at Emma. Some people smiled gently, but others looked away quickly or didn't seem to notice her at all. This made Henry feel a little sad. Henry pushed Emma's wheelchair slowly through the cafe. Emma was shy, but she trusted her father completely. She loved going out with him, even if sometimes it was hard because of her wheelchair. Today was special. Henry had promised her that they would have a nice time, away from all the noise and rush of their usual life. As they found a small table near the window, Henry looked at Emma and said, "This is your day. You can choose anything you want to eat." Emma's face lit up with a small smile. She liked the idea of choosing by herself. Just then, a young waitress came over. Her name was Mia. Mia was not rich or famous like Henry, but she had a kind heart and a bright spirit. She was working hard, serving people with a smile. Mia noticed Emma's wheelchair right away and gently asked, "Would you like me to move the table so you have more space?" Henry watched her carefully. Mia moved the table just enough for Emma's wheelchair to fit comfortably. She did it with care, like she understood how important this small space was for Emma. Henry was surprised by how thoughtful Mia was. "Thank you," Henry said quietly. Mia smiled. "It's no problem at all. We want everyone to feel comfortable here." Emma looked at Mia and gave a small nod. Henry saw that Emma felt safe with this young woman, and that made him feel calm too. Mia took their order with patience. Emma chose a simple sandwich and some fruit, while Henry ordered coffee. Mia promised to bring everything soon and left with a gentle smile. As they waited, Henry looked at Emma. "Are you okay here?" he asked softly. Emma nodded. "I like it. It feels nice." Henry felt happy. It was not about the place or the food. It was about feeling welcome. Suddenly, the cafe became a little busier. More people came in, and the noise grew louder. Emma's hands tightened on the wheelchair handles. Henry noticed her discomfort and gently squeezed her hand. Mia came back with their food. She carefully placed the plate in front of Emma and set Henry's coffee nearby. She looked at Emma with kindness. "If you need anything else, just call me." Emma smiled faintly. "Thank you." Henry watched Mia leave and thought about how different life was for people like her. He knew the world was not always easy for someone working hard in a small cafe. But Mia seemed to have a light inside her, a light that made the cafe a better place. As Henry and Emma ate, a loud noise suddenly filled the air. A tray dropped from a waiter's hand in the kitchen, crashing to the floor. Some plates broke, and the sound startled everyone in the cafe. Emma flinched and looked scared. Henry's heart jumped. He moved closer to her, but before he could say anything, Mia was already in front of Emma, standing like a shield. Mia's eyes were calm but strong. She gently placed her hands in front of Emma's wheelchair, making sure nothing could fall on her. Her calm presence made the cafe quiet again. Henry watched in awe. This young waitress was protecting his daughter like a brave guardian. She was not afraid of the sudden noise or the broken plates. She only cared about Emma's safety. After a moment, Mia smiled at Emma and said softly, "It's okay now. You are safe." Emma looked at Mia with gratitude in her eyes. Henry felt a warm feeling in his chest. He realized that kindness was something that money could not buy. The noise was over, and the cafe returned to its usual calm. Henry thanked Mia quietly. She nodded and went back to her work. Henry looked at Emma and said, "You were very brave." Emma smiled shyly. So was Mia. The day continued, but Henry's mind was full of thoughts. He saw Mia not just as a waitress but as a person with a heart bigger than most. He wanted to know more about her, about the world she lived in, so different from his own. As the sun began to set, Henry helped Emma back into the car. He looked at the small cafe behind them and at Mia, who was waving goodbye with a warm smile. Henry promised himself that this was just the beginning. There was more to life than wealth and power. There was kindness, courage, and unexpected friendships waiting to be found. And for Henry and Emma, their small trip to the cafe had become something much bigger, a new story about hope and trust. The day after their visit to the small cafe, Henry could not stop thinking about Mia. Her kindness, her calm strength, and the way she had protected Emma touched him deeply. He saw something in her that was rare, a simple, quiet courage that money could never buy. That morning, Henry decided to take Emma back to the cafe. He wanted her to see Mia again and maybe thank her properly. Emma was happy to return, excited to meet the young waitress who had made her feel safe. When they arrived, the cafe was busy as usual. The smell of fresh coffee filled the air, and soft music played in the background. Mia was behind the counter, serving customers with her usual gentle smile. When she saw Henry and Emma, her face lit up with recognition. "Mia," Henry called softly as he approached the counter. "Can you come here for a moment?" Mia nodded and walked over to their table. Emma smiled shyly, and Mia crouched down to be at her eye level. "Hi, Emma. It's good to see you again." Emma nodded. "Hi, Mia." Henry looked at Mia and said, "I want to thank you again for how you took care of Emma yesterday. It meant a lot to us." Mia shook her head, a little embarrassed. "It was nothing. I just wanted to help." Before Henry could say more, a sudden noise broke the calm of the cafe. From the kitchen, a loud crash echoed. Henry's head turned quickly toward the sound. A young waiter, carrying a large tray full of drinks and plates, had slipped. The tray flew out of his hands and began to fall, heading straight toward Emma's wheelchair. The people in the cafe gasped, and time seemed to slow. Emma's eyes grew wide with fear. She tried to move back in her wheelchair, but the space was small, and the tray was coming fast. Without thinking twice, Mia jumped forward. She put her arms out, blocking the falling tray from hitting Emma. The glasses and plates crashed around Mia, but she stayed steady, protecting the girl she barely knew. Henry's heart pounded as he watched. Mia's face was calm but determined. She did not move away or flinch. She simply stood in front of Emma like a strong wall. The noise stopped. People looked at Mia in surprise and admiration. The waiter who had dropped the tray looked worried but quickly rushed to clean up the mess. Henry hurried over to Mia and Emma. Are you both okay? He asked urgently. Emma nodded, still holding onto Mia's hand. Yes, she whispered. Thank you, Mia. Mia smiled gently. You're safe. That's what matters. Henry looked at Mia with new respect. This young woman, who worked in a small cafe, had shown more bravery and care than many people he had met in his life. He realized that kindness and courage were not about power or money, they were about heart. After the chaos settled, Mia sat down with Henry and Emma. They talked quietly while the cafe returned to its normal rhythm. Henry asked Mia about her life, her dreams, and her hopes. Mia told them she worked many hours to support her family but always tried to help those who needed it. Emma listened carefully, her eyes shining. She saw a new kind of strength in Mia, not from muscles or money but from love and care. Henry felt a quiet happiness. For the first time in a long time, he saw the world through different eyes. It was not about what he had but what he could give and who he could trust. Before they left, Henry said to Mia, "You don't just serve food here. You give hope." Mia looked surprised but smiled. "I try." That day, as Henry and Emma drove home, he kept thinking about the power of small acts. Mia had saved his daughter without hesitation. She had no reason to be a hero, but she was. Henry decided that he wanted to know Mia better, not just as a waitress but as a person. He wanted to find a way to help her, to give back the kindness she had shown. Emma, too, felt a new friend in Mia. She talked about her to Henry and hoped they could visit the cafe again soon. The day ended with a promise not spoken aloud but felt deeply, that something new was beginning. A story of friendship, courage, and kindness that would grow stronger with each passing day. Henry realized that in Mia's simple act of protecting Emma, he had found a lesson more valuable than any business deal or fortune. It was the lesson of the heart. And so, their journey continued, with hope lighting the way. The small cafe buzzed quietly in the late afternoon, the warm light from the windows casting soft shadows on the wooden tables. Henry sat with Emma, his daughter, smiling gently as he watched her sip her juice. Emma seemed happier here than she had in a long time. She was relaxed, safe, and most of all, she was enjoying the moment. Mia, the young waitress who had protected Emma in a sudden moment of danger just a day before, moved between the tables with a steady, calm presence. Henry could not stop watching her. She carried herself with quiet strength, kindness shining in her eyes. After a while, Henry called Mia over to their table. "Would you sit with us for a moment?" he asked politely. Mia hesitated for a moment, then nodded. She pulled out a chair and sat down beside them. The cafe noise seemed to fade away for a while, as the three of them settled into a quiet, gentle conversation. Henry looked at Mia and said, "You have a special way of caring for people. I saw it yesterday when you protected Emma. But I want to know more about you." Mia smiled softly. "I don't know if there's much to tell," she said, her voice quiet but steady. "I work here because I need to. My family depends on me." Henry nodded, understanding. "I can see you have a big heart. It's not easy to be strong and kind in a world that often forgets about people like Emma and you." Emma looked up, her eyes bright. "Mia, do you have brothers or sisters?" she asked shyly. Mia smiled and said, "I have a little brother. He's younger than me. I try to take care of him." Henry watched as the two girls shared a moment. Emma was curious and warm, and Mia seemed to soften around her. "You know," Henry said, "I've spent most of my life chasing success, money, power, business deals. but meeting you and seeing how you care, it makes me think about what really matters. Mia looked at him with surprise. Maybe it's the little things, she said softly. A smile, a helping hand, being there when someone needs you. Henry nodded. Yes. You've taught me that. For a moment, the three of them were silent, each lost in their own thoughts. Outside the window, the world moved fast, but here inside, time seemed slower, kinder. Henry asked gently, Mia, what dreams do you have? If you could do anything, what would you want? Mia looked down, then smiled shyly. I want to help people. Maybe work with children who need care, like Emma. I want to make a difference. Emma's face lit up. That's exactly what I want too. Henry felt a warmth spread through him. This young woman, who worked hard and dreamed quietly, was a spark of hope. Her courage had saved Emma, but her heart was bigger than that moment. He thought about the world he lived in, a world of big buildings and fast deals, and he realized how much it needed people like Mia. Do you ever feel like your dreams are too big? Mia asked suddenly, looking up. Henry smiled gently. Sometimes. But dreams are important. They give us a reason to keep going. Emma nodded in agreement. I believe dreams come true when you work for them. Mia's eyes shone. Maybe I will find a way. The conversation made Henry think deeply. He wanted to help Mia, not just with words, but in real ways. He wanted to give her a chance to reach those dreams. As the afternoon sun began to lower, Henry stood up and said, Thank you, Mia. You've shown me a different side of life. I hope we can talk more soon. Mia stood as well, her face calm but hopeful. Thank you, Henry, for listening. Emma smiled, reaching out to hold Mia's hand for a moment. I'm glad we met you. Henry watched them, feeling that this meeting was the start of something new, not just a friendship, but a chance to change lives. After they left the cafe, Henry looked at Emma and said quietly, sometimes, the people who seem ordinary are the most extraordinary. Emma smiled back. Mia is my hero. Henry nodded, feeling a new sense of purpose. This simple cafe visit was no longer just a break from the busy life. It was the beginning of a new journey, one filled with kindness, hope, and courage. He decided that tomorrow, he would find a way to help Mia make her dreams come true. Because sometimes, the biggest changes start with the smallest moments. The next morning, Henry woke up with a clear idea in his mind. He wanted to help Mia not just with kind words but with a real opportunity. He had a foundation that helped children with disabilities like Emma, but it needed people with heart and courage to work there. Mia was exactly the kind of person he wanted. After breakfast, Henry called his assistant and told her to arrange a meeting with Mia. He wanted to speak with her about something important. Meanwhile, Mia was working at the cafe, serving customers as usual. She didn't expect anything unusual. Her day was full of simple tasks, taking orders, clearing tables, and smiling politely. But when Henry entered the cafe again, her heart skipped a beat. He walked directly to her and said, Mia, could we talk for a moment, please? Curious and a little nervous, Mia followed Henry to a quiet corner of the cafe. Henry looked at her kindly and said, Mia, I have been thinking a lot about you and your kindness toward Emma. I want to offer you a chance to work with my foundation. Mia blinked, surprised. Work with your foundation, she repeated. Yes, Henry said. We help children with disabilities get better care and support. We need people who truly care, who have the courage to protect and help these children. You showed me that. Would you be interested? Mia looked down, unsure. I don't know if I'm ready for something like that. I'm just a waitress. Henry shook his head gently. You are much more than that. You have a heart that shines. Sometimes, people don't see their true strength until someone believes in them. Emma, who was sitting nearby, smiled shyly. Mia, I think you would be amazing. Mia looked at Emma's hopeful face and felt a warmth she hadn't expected. She took a deep breath and said, I would like to try. I want to help children like Emma. Henry nodded happily. That's wonderful. Tomorrow, I will arrange for you to visit our center. You can meet the team and learn more. Mia's heart filled with a mixture of excitement and fear. This was a big step, a new world that felt both scary and full of hope. That evening, Mia shared the news with her family. They were proud but worried. Are you sure you can do this? Her mother asked softly. Mia smiled. I want to. It's a chance to make a difference. The next day, Henry took Mia to the Foundation Center. The building was bright and welcoming, filled with rooms designed to help children grow and learn. Mia met doctors, therapists, and caregivers who worked with care and dedication. As she walked through the halls, Mia felt a sense of belonging. This was a place where kindness was the strongest power. Henry introduced her to the team. This is Mia. She will be joining us to help with the children. The team welcomed her warmly. Mia listened carefully as they explained their work and the needs of the children. Over the next few weeks, Mia learned new skills. She helped children with small exercises, talked with families, and supported the staff. Every day was a new challenge, but Mia faced them with courage and an open heart. Emma visited often, and the two girls grew closer. Emma saw Mia becoming stronger and happier, and that gave her hope too. Henry watched from a distance, proud of Mia's progress. He knew that this was more than a job for her, it was a calling. One afternoon, Henry said to Mia, You have come a long way. I believe you can make a real difference here. Mia smiled, feeling more confident than ever. Thank you for believing in me. Henry nodded. Remember, the greatest strength is kindness. Mia thought about the journey she had taken from a simple waitress in a small cafe to someone who was helping children and families in need. It was not easy, but it was worth it. She looked at Emma and Henry, feeling that she had found a new family, a family built on love, trust, and hope. As the sun set outside the foundation's windows, Mia knew that this was only the beginning. Together, they would create a world where every child felt safe, cared for, and loved. Weeks passed since Mia had joined Henry's foundation, and each day brought new challenges and joys. Mia was learning quickly. She loved spending time with the children, watching them smile, laugh, and grow stronger. Emma often visited, and the two girls shared a beautiful friendship, filled with hope and kindness. Henry was pleased with Mia's progress. He often visited the center, quietly observing how Mia cared for the children and helped the staff. He saw her patience, her courage, and her willingness to learn. More than that, he saw the way the children responded to her warmth and gentle nature. One afternoon, Henry invited Mia and Emma to his home for tea. The house was large and beautiful, but Henry made sure the atmosphere was calm and welcoming. He wanted Mia to feel comfortable. As they sat in the garden, surrounded by blooming flowers, Henry spoke quietly. Mia, you have done wonderfully here. But I want to ask you something important. Mia looked at him with curiosity. What is it? Henry took a deep breath. Our foundation is planning a big event, a fundraiser to help more children like Emma. It will be a public event, with many important people attending. I want you to be part of it, to share your story. Mia's eyes widened. Me? Share my story? Yes, Henry said gently. Your story is powerful. You've shown courage and kindness. People will listen to you. It will help raise support for the children. Mia felt nervous. She was not used to speaking in front of crowds. But she also knew this was important. For the children, for Emma, and for herself. Emma reached out and held Mia's hand. You can do it, she said softly. Mia smiled, feeling courage grow inside her. I will try. Over the next few days, Mia practiced speaking. She talked about her work at the foundation, about Emma and the children she helped. She shared the story of how she had protected Emma in the cafe and how that moment changed her life. Henry and the team helped her prepare, giving her confidence and support. Finally, the day of the fundraiser arrived. The event was held in a beautiful hall filled with light and flowers. Many people came: business leaders, doctors, families, and supporters of the foundation. Mia's heart raced as she stepped onto the small stage. She looked out at the crowd and saw many faces waiting to hear her. Taking a deep breath, Mia began to speak. She told her story simply and honestly. She spoke about kindness, courage, and the importance of helping others. As she talked, the room grew quiet. People listened closely, moved by her words. Mia's voice was steady, and her eyes shone with truth. When she finished, the room burst into applause. Mia felt a mix of relief and happiness. She had done it. Henry smiled proudly. You were amazing. After the event, many people approached Mia, thanking her and offering support. She felt a new world opening before her. But the test was not over. As the weeks passed, Mia faced new challenges. Working at the foundation was hard work, and sometimes the children were very sick. Mia saw pain and sadness that touched her heart deeply. One day, Emma had a bad fall. She was hurt badly and had to stay in the hospital for several days. Henry was worried and sad. Mia stayed by Emma's side, offering comfort and strength. During those days, Henry saw how much Mia had become part of their lives. She was not just a helper, she was a friend and a guardian. Emma's recovery was slow but steady. When she was finally able to return home, everyone felt relief and joy. Mia knew that this journey was not easy, but it was worth every moment. She had found her place, her purpose. Henry looked at Mia with gratitude. Thank you for everything, he said simply. Mia smiled. Thank you for believing in me. Together, they had faced fear, pain, and hope. Together, they had created a bond stronger than any money or power. As the sun set over the city, Mia felt a new strength inside her. She was ready for whatever came next. Because now, she knew that kindness and courage could change the world one small act at a time. The days turned into weeks, and the foundation grew stronger with Mia's help. She had become more confident, learning new skills and forming deep bonds with the children and families she served. Emma, too, was making progress, her smile brighter with every visit. Henry watched all of this quietly, feeling a new sense of hope. He realized that the real wealth in life was not money or power, it was the love and kindness people shared. Mia had opened his eyes to this truth, and for that, he was grateful. One sunny morning, Henry invited Mia and Emma to his office. The room was bright with sunlight, and the city looked peaceful through the large windows. Henry sat down and looked at Mia with a serious but kind expression. "Mia," he began, "you have done more than I ever expected. You have touched many lives here, especially Emma's. You have a gift, and I want to help you use it in the best way possible." Mia listened carefully, a little nervous but hopeful. Henry continued, "I want to offer you a full-time position with the foundation. Not just as a helper, but as a leader. We want you to guide programs for children and families who need care and support." Mia's eyes widened. "Me? A leader? I don't know if I'm ready." Henry smiled gently. "You are ready. You have already proven that. You have heart, courage, and wisdom beyond your years." Emma looked up and said, "You can do it, Mia. You're my hero." Mia felt tears in her eyes. She had never imagined such a chance. It was more than she had dreamed. "I will try my best," she said softly. Henry nodded. "That's all we ask." In the weeks that followed, Mia worked hard to learn the new responsibilities. She met with families, planned activities for the children, and helped train new volunteers. She felt proud and happy but also understood the weight of her new role. One afternoon, Mia found a quiet moment with Emma in the garden of the foundation. Emma looked up at Mia with trust and love. "Mia," Emma said, "you helped me when I was scared. You showed me that I'm not alone. I want to help others too." Mia smiled warmly. "We will help them together, Emma. We are a team." That evening, Henry visited the foundation with a surprise. He brought a small gift, a simple book about kindness and courage. He handed it to Mia. "This is for you," Henry said. "To remind you that no matter where life takes you, your heart is your greatest strength." Mia held the book close, feeling the weight of the moment. It was not just a gift but a symbol of trust and belief. As months passed, Mia grew into her new role. She faced challenges and hard days, but she never gave up. Her courage inspired others, and her kindness made the foundation a place of hope and healing. One day, Henry received a letter from a family far away. They had heard about the foundation and wanted to thank Mia for helping their child. The letter was filled with gratitude and hope. Henry showed the letter to Mia. "See? Your work is changing lives beyond the city." Mia smiled, feeling a deep joy. She realized that her journey from a simple waitress to a leader was more than a change in job. It was a new beginning, a chance to make the world a better place. That night, as she looked out at the stars, Mia thought about the road ahead. It was not always easy, but it was full of promise. She whispered softly, "Thank you for believing in me." And with that, Mia knew her story was just beginning. Because kindness, courage, and hope were stronger than any challenge. And together, they could light up even the darkest paths. The sun was shining warmly over the city as Mia stood at the entrance of the foundation's new building. It was bigger now, filled with light and laughter. The sound of children playing and learning filled the halls, a beautiful reminder of how far they had come. Mia looked around with pride and happiness. This place was more than just a building. It was a home for many children and families who needed love and care. And Mia was at the heart of it all. Henry joined her, smiling warmly. "You've done an incredible job, Mia," he said. "This foundation is now a beacon of hope for so many." Mia shook her head gently. "I couldn't have done it without you and Emma." Emma, sitting nearby in her wheelchair, smiled brightly. "We are a team." Henry looked at the three of them and felt a deep peace. It was not the wealth or power that gave meaning to his life, it was moments like these. One day, as the foundation prepared for a celebration to mark its 5th year, Mia received a letter in the mail. It was from a young mother named Sarah, whose child had been helped by the foundation. The letter said, "Thank you, Mia. Your kindness saved my child's life and gave me hope when I had none. You are a true angel." Mia read the words with tears in her eyes. She realized that the gift she had given was more than care, it was hope. And hope could change lives. At the celebration, Mia spoke to the crowd about her journey. She told them about the small cafe where she had met Emma and Henry, about the moment she had protected Emma, and how that moment changed everything. "I was just a waitress," Mia said softly. "But kindness and courage made me stronger than I ever thought. And now, I want to help every child who needs love and support." The crowd listened closely, inspired by her story. Many people came forward to offer help, donations, and promises to volunteer. Henry watched with pride. He had never imagined that a small act of kindness in a cafe would grow into something so powerful. After the celebration, Mia took a quiet moment alone. She looked at the stars and thought about the journey, the challenges, the fears, the hope. She knew that life would not always be easy. But she also knew that with kindness and courage, anything was possible. Emma came over and held her hand. "Thank you, Mia. You are my hero." Mia smiled, feeling the warmth of their friendship. "No, Emma. You are mine." As the night grew quiet, Mia made a promise to herself. She would keep helping, keep caring, and keep spreading hope wherever she went. Because the greatest gift anyone could give was the gift of kindness. And that gift could change the world.